Hey, so we're out of the house today. I'm going to give you a couple of tips on showing homes, things that you should be looking for to give you and your clients a little bit of an idea of what may be coming up on the inspection. So as you probably already know, water is one of the biggest things that influences the condition of a house. So take a lap around the outside and check for potential water entry points. This could mean vegetation sloping toward the ground, overgrown vegetation, or gutters that may not be pointed directly away from the home. So we can see here at this house, this gutter's got a drain that runs out, but if you look behind there, you see there's some dip that goes below the grade level, and we'll show you what that looks like on the inside. So another key point is taking a look for foundation cracking that might be happening on a brick home. Take a look around the corner of windows to see if you have any stair step cracking or anything like that. Just because there is cracking doesn't mean that there's a structural issue, and oftentimes understanding that the brick on the outside is a siding. It is not necessarily a structural component of the house. So really what you're trying to identify when you're showing a house are things that could either show up on the inspection report or maybe getting your client an idea of what to budget for if they go into this house, and helps you get a good offer. So we look at mechanical systems of the home, tend to be expensive ones to fix and tend to be expensive ones to replace. So you can obviously get a good picture of what the condition looks like by taking a look, but also here, this is the data plate on a HVAC system. If you take a look at it, you can see at the bottom there, it's made by Carrier. And if you look at the serial number, you can take that serial number and go to building-reference.org, and you can get an idea of the age of the unit just by putting in that serial number and seeing what configuration it follows. Be careful not to get definitive on that, because sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, but it can give you an idea of, is this a 12-year-old unit that within the next 5 years or so may need to be replaced? Or is this a 2-year-old unit and your clients are good and maybe can be a little bit more aggressive on the offer? Take a look inside at the HVAC unit if you can. If it's on a basement home, it's usually pretty easy. Sometimes they're in the attic or in the crawl space. You don't necessarily need to do that, but go ahead and take a look at it. Take a look and see what the condition looks like. So you can see up here, there's no rusting, there's no water intrusion. Look in the drain pan to see if there's any rusting. That can give you an idea of, have there been any issues in the past with this unit? This one looks pretty clean. Same goes for water heaters if they're accessible. Taking a look at the top, seeing that there's no rusting, no corrosion, anything like that. Also taking a look here, you've got the TPRV valve, which is this white pipe right here. And taking a look at the bottom, making sure that there's no leaking, there's no staining, anything along those lines, which tells you that likely this water heater has been in good operating condition. In basement homes, especially unfinished basement homes and basement homes with garages, taking a look again at cracking on the inside, it is more of a structural issue than it is on the outside with, say, brick veneer. So again, we're taking a look around the window corners. You can see there's a little bit of stair step cracking, if I can get my finger right. Stair step cracking all the way down here, and then down there as well. It's going to show up on a home inspection report. Is it a big structural issue? It kind of depends on what else is being seen, but you at least know that there's that potential there of that being in the report. So we've talked about basements. Let's talk about crawl spaces as well. You don't need to be a hero. You don't need to crawl a crawl space. Bring a flashlight with you. Open up the crawl space door and at least take a look at what's inside. And a couple of key pointers here. As you look in, look at the base of the floor and see, is there a vapor barrier? If there's not a vapor barrier, the chances of there being high moisture in the crawl space goes exponentially up. So you can see this one doesn't have a vapor barrier, likely has elevated moisture in the crawl space. Taking a look at the condition of the insulation. So you can see that one looks pretty good. A lot of times what you see is insulation start hanging down or looking kind of thready or getting pulled apart. That's also an indication of high moisture. And then just sticking your head in there or your hand in there, making sure you're looking for standing water on the base of the floor, as well as getting a feel on, is it really humid underneath there? If it's really humid, that moisture gets into the wood and increases the chance of termites and mold. And I'm sorry, mold's a four-letter word, but those are the kind of things that you can experience with high moisture in a crawl space. On the inside, while your client is going around the house and looking at everything that's pretty and imagining what their life is going to be like when they move into this home, you could be taking a look, again, at all the door frames and the window frames to see, is there any kind of cracking that goes in a diagonal manner that's not in a straight line, which will give you more of an indication, is there potentially a structural issue here? Again, cracking does not necessarily equal structural concern. All right, so as we wrap up how to show your clients houses and different things that you can do while you're showing them, Remember, water intrusion, water is going to be the biggest enemy in the home. Taking a look at the system age of the HVAC and the water heater, as well as the general condition of it. Has it been taken care of? Is it on the edge of its lifespan? And then looking at deferred maintenance items. Are the underneath of the sinks clean? Are there any small leaks that are going on? Can you check the light switches and doors and make sure that things are being taken care of as they're having issues? These are all small issues that can lead to much larger problems if the home is being left unmaintained over a certain amount of time. If there's anything that we can do to help you out, don't hesitate to text us pictures, email us pictures. If you want to set up a time in FaceTime as you go through a house to help understand that as well, feel free to reach out. We're happy to help in any way that we can, and happy showing.